So, welcome to our seminar on financial anxiety. Um, we we are open here. This is an interactive discussion. I really appreciate when you tell me what you think, ideas, and although I'm going to give a kind of talk and present some ideas, you're welcome to stop me at any time or to put something in the chat box and we can go through it. So this is something very practical where we really want to make sure that we all learn something. And I specifically help you that are here with me and also that those that are looking at this recording, how to deal with financial anxiety, which also may become financial stress and even financial burnout. And as you can see, the terms are very similar: anxiety, stress, and burnout, with what everything that happens throughout our life. And that's what we are going to discuss today or talk about. I'm going to tell you first a little bit about myself. My name is Oscar Segurado. In this occasion, I go for Doc Segurado. And I've been working on this Neo Chi Institute and the mind framing practice for the past almost 5 years. And this is the way I spend, let's say, some of the money that I earn through my career. And in my career, that's mostly working as a scientist, as a physician. I work in the biotechnology industry. So, what that means to you watching this video is that I am able to provide you support for free, actually for free. So this is, I enjoy helping other people. And in this case, we're going to talk about financial life. And I can tell you a little bit about mine. So I was originally born in Spain. I went to school, medical school in Salamanca. Then I moved to Germany for 12 years. And I started building my career step by step. And in the past 20 years, I've been in the United States. So that would be the first aspect from financial life that is important. At the end of the day, you're going to hear me talking a lot about trees. And if you go and enjoy nature, you're going to see how the trees practically have a life that goes very, very slowly. They grow and grow and grow. They let other trees grow around them. And all of them enjoy the sun. All of them enjoy the water that is in the soil. So they work together and also on their own. So that would be my first point, that you need to build and start thinking on a career and a development throughout life. Obvious. Now, the second thing that I did is that I started working in the industry, in the biopharmaceutical industry, now for over almost 25 years. And by doing that, I started focusing in neurosciences and also in immunology. And I realized at some point that it was very important to combine both into what is called psychoneuroimmunology. We're not going to talk about that today, but I have other seminars where I indeed chat about that and discuss that. But what is probably relevant here is that you need to keep going and growing, but without putting too much stress into your life. And that's what unfortunately I did when I went into what is called high functioning anxiety. I was working here in the United States in a biotechnology company in the Bay Area, San Francisco Bay Area, until I didn't almost realize that, but I had almost a nervous breakdown. And I left the organization. I started looking into myself. And then I decided to create what you are seeing now, a kind of lessons, ideas for anyone that wants to learn about themselves, about others and about something that I consider very important, which is connecting with nature. And you're going to see how I'm going to weave everything together in a way that we, in a very natural way, are going to be able to control everything related to anxiety. And by the way, it's very clear financial anxiety is one of the top reasons of anxiety. About three-quarters of Americans in a recent survey showed that they had financial anxiety over the past month, or the previous month. And we, in our Neo Chi Institute, and you're going to hear a little bit about what's that about. We also conducted recently a survey, and we got results from 240 people. And we also realized, and we could see how people have anxiety. We were not really focusing on financial anxiety, but everyone has anxiety at least once, if I recall that correctly, during the past week, and obviously the month too. So this is pervasive in our society. Now, I'm going to talk to you today about something very simple. There are three steps on controlling your finances. Very simple ones and very logical ones. Number one is that you need to earn money. Number two is that you need to balance spending and saving. And the third one, that almost just a very small portion of people think about, is investment. And some people don't even get there because they are not able to move from the paycheck to paycheck situation, and they don't get into investment. And you're going to see how there are ways to do that, even being relatively trapped into that situation. Okay, so that's what we're going to discuss. And then I'm going to talk with you about the Neo Chi lifestyle. And this is something that I developed again when I had this situation about high functioning anxiety. It was not financially driven at that point. But when I went into that point, I realized that I needed to spend more time on two things, or even three things, excuse me. First, I needed time for myself, for my mind to be free and to have the opportunity to grasp things that are around me. And because we're so busy and our mind has so many things going on, we are not able to do. And that was the N of the Neo Chi Institute and the Neo Chi lifestyle: nature, connecting with nature. The E is about emotional intelligence, connecting with others. So the first one is self-awareness, connecting with nature, having time for your mind to be free. Second, connecting with others. And finally, the O is organism. And that means ensuring that you are focusing on your well-being. It's mostly about the body, but also the mind. So if you do these three things, we're going to connect them with the three other aspects from financial anxiety that I discussed a moment ago, which are, again, earning money, saving and spending money, this balance, and finally, investing money. So this is what is going to be about today. And I'm sure that you have your own issues, your own aspects that you would like to be addressed. You can either, again, put something here in the chat room, or you can send me an email. It's info or Oscar at neochi.org. And I would like to start by focusing on these three aspects and what they mean in terms of being able to control your well-being and mental stability. Before going into these aspects, which at the end of the day are going to end up explaining to you how you can use your mind to increase your earnings, your savings, your control of spending, and your investments. And this is, first of all, about ensuring that you understand your situation and you are self-aware of everything that is going around you. And for that, I developed and I wrote a book that is free download in Amazon, a bestseller right now, and over the past few years, called Mindful Framing. What mindful framing means is that you frame and you organize everything that is happening in your mind and around you, your experiences and your thoughts. And this is the way I do that. Let me start with just a very short lesson about mindful framing. That is which is, by the way, the way we are able to connect freely with everything around us and not being hijacked by our own mind, which is what happens normally. We have a number of thoughts that are negative, repetitive, and they are really not letting us having a free thinking process. So what is needed to do that is first being able to visualize. And I think that if we want to go into the first step, earning money, it's very important that you understand where you are as a person. What are your characteristics? What is your personality? What do you like? And extraordinarily important, what are your skills? And the majority of the people don't do that consciously. They expect others to tell them this is what you do well, what you don't. No, you have to work on that. You have to identify that so that you find your own path. And by the way, when I say your own path, I really mean it, because the majority of the people are comparing themselves with someone else. The majority of the people are looking into others, looking into how people look, how people were able to achieve things, and starting from their childhood with their brothers and sisters, going into the people at school, and then friends and people on TV or whatever. The people are constantly comparing themselves with others. You should only compare yourself with yourself, how you are growing, how you are now versus how you were 1 year ago, 10 years ago. That's it. And that's exactly where you have to spend time. And I know that I'm very generic. We're talking about earning money, and we all know, and I can assure you, because that is very clear. We have the so-called pyramid of Maslow, which shows what are the basic needs of people. The number one need that we have is financial stability. So we if we don't are not able to fulfill our needs, and if we have a family, the needs of the family of those that we are taking care of, then we are not able to grow as an individual. So it's extremely important to make sure that we are able to understand that basic need. So we need to really find ways, in one way or another, to have money in the pocket and in the bank, no doubt about that. So to do that, and coming back to the point I made a few moments ago, is extremely important self-awareness. And for self-awareness, you need to spend time. And this is what usually doesn't happen. The majority of the people are in the whirlwind of life, and there are things coming and going and happening continuously, so that people are not able to spend quality time thinking. And I know it's difficult, even finding 10 minutes, 20 minutes per day just thinking about yourself is very difficult, because you don't know how to do it. People don't have we don't learn that at school. Our parents don't teach that us. It's not about meditation, because meditation in reality, you're clearing your mind. It's about having time for reflection, thinking about, again, what are your qualities as a person, how is your personality, your skills, and start thinking how you can earn money, very simply. So it's not something that happens naturally, but you have to start doing that in a regular basis. So that's why I developed the practice of mindful framing, which means framing your mind in a way that you are organizing a number of thoughts and a number of ideas so that slowly you're going to start seeing how you are creating that path and understanding where you are and where you are going. So the way I recommend everyone to do that, and again, all this comes from my experience when I had this crash, kind of nervous breakdown, high functioning anxiety, and I needed to organize my thoughts. I left my career as it was, and I started working as a consultant, just helping others without a full-time work, which was very, very difficult after many years. I'm back now into a full-time job, but I didn't for a couple of years, and it was bringing me into the opportunity of learning more about myself, and I start seeing how I could focus my life. So the key on that process, I recommend to all of you to download the free book Mindful Framing. And there it tells you that you need to use a very well established practice that is related to what people are calling the law of attraction. Then there is a book also called Think and Grow Rich. So it's all about, because those two books or ideas are related, and also in some way, the point is that you have to spend time to create a path, to see that path step by step, and seeing also the rewards. And I'm also going to say here the monetary rewards that you're going to have, the financial rewards that you're going to see if you indeed follow your heart, if you follow what you yourself are telling yourself, and of course you can get feedback and you can get support of your loved ones, so that in some way you are creating that path forward. And let's now do a very simple exercise about that. There is a chapter in my book which talks about different steps that are required for this visualization. And again, it's different mindful framing from meditation, although there are certain similarities because this is an active process. So it's not about clearing your mind of thoughts or seeing your thoughts moving like clouds and following all these meditation apps or listening to someone. It's you creating a framework so that you start thinking in a very organized way. And there is something in my book, is this chapter dedicated to what I call the anxiety bus. And this is something relatively counterintuitive because we all have anxiety, we all have financial anxiety. But in order to tackle that, it's not about avoiding that, it's confronting that. And the way you do that is as you think about a bus, a city bus, where there are certain sections of the bus, and you are the driver of the bus. You're driving the bus with all your luggage, with all your baggage, everything that is there that is related to what is in your mind. And there are a number of sections in that bus. There are the rows to the left, which are behind the driver. There is the walkway in the middle, or the aisle. And there is another row to the right, okay? In the first rows that are right behind the driver is where you are going to see, visualize everything related to your financial world. And that could be people that either you have to support or people that are supporting you, and then everything related to work, either actual work that you are doing right now or work that you would like to have. I see in my case two members of my family that I'm supporting, and I see there in again at the left, this is the driver behind me, a number of people that are related to my work. And I see the actual people. I see my boss, I see a couple of colleagues, I see people also working in my team, and I'm not going into the next sections of the bus, but this is something that I do every day. And I dedicate just a few minutes and also a few minutes to other aspects of the so-called mindful framing. But when you do that, you are capturing, because what happens sometimes, and I leave my mind free, is that while I'm going through that process, while I'm driving the bus, I see all these rows behind me, and I see all these people. There are ideas that come up all the time. And sometimes my mind starts going and following those thoughts, which is fine. I am not concerned about that. When I think that's okay, I move to the next section, and also different aspects of the so-called mindful framing. So the key here, and we are in the first stage, earning money, is to ensure that you identify what is relevant for you to the way you earn and you have your income. And maybe your income is from someone that is helping you out, or you are also decreasing your income because you are helping someone. See that people in your mind every day. And also look especially into aspects related to your day-to-day work. Now, I'm going to take a small detour into the aisle in the center. So it's before going to the other rows to the right. And in the center, there are also a number of aspects that are going to stop you of doing many things in your life. And this is, as giving you a short example, the fact that we need validation. And I would say, and I explained that in detail in other places, but we have to avoid that type of thought and go more into value, valuation, how you value yourself. You don't need to validate yourself. You need to value yourself. And the same for others. You do that with others and they do that with you. So let's do that right now, a very, very short exercise where you're going to, and I'm going to show you how to visualize. And we are going to do exactly the points I mentioned about the driver of the bus and also all these rows that are behind the driver. So close your eyes and follow my description of this bus, which you're driving. You're driving and you're getting close to a bus stop. And then you, is driving this bus, stop there, and you start seeing some people coming into the bus and sitting right behind you. Okay? Now imagine one or two people that are very close to you, family people, people that have any kind of relation with you. And right now, again, you have your eyes closed, okay? You're seeing those people coming into the bus, sitting right behind you, and just let them sit there. That's all. Now, the bus still stopped. You see now more people coming into the bus, and these are now people related to your work, or your expected work, or your previous work, or even you can imagine future work. These are people coming now behind those two individuals, which are very close to you, and they're also sitting there. You start filling the bus, the left side of the bus, with people related to your work and family where you have any kind of financial relationship. That's all. That's all. If you are able to visualize that, you can now open your eyes. If you are able to visualize that, if you are able to see that in your mind, with your mind's eye, that very simple exercise is going to help you, because you should repeat that day by day, it's going to help you reflect about, again, people around you and how you interact with them. It's going to come naturally. You don't need to force anything. Just do the bus visualization. Let the people come in and let them sit there. You're going to see how your mind, just because you're thinking about these people, these individuals, is going to start generating ideas. It's going to start generating interesting ways to move forward. And in the aisle in the middle, you're going to also to deal with thoughts that are stopping you from being successful. And again, one of them is, and there are others, but I'm going to just focus on this one, your need of validation, which is something that we all have since we are kids. We need to be validated by someone. More than that, go into valuation, be valued and value other people. That's, again, some initial points. I describe the anxiety bus very much in detail. So we're talking about confronting financial anxiety. And there are two types of anxiety which also apply to financial anxiety, which is financial anxiety driven by certain situations. For instance, you have a big bill to pay, something happened, and you are short for that month. And this is situational anxiety. Now, there is something which is more long term, which is related to previous problems, future nervousness about what's going to happen. That's financial stress, which is kind of chronic anxiety. It's something that comes over and over. And it can develop into burnout when really you don't know what to do, and this can have very serious consequences. So, again, when we talk about the first step of earning money, think about day to day what you need to do. How are you doing that in your daily life, in that very specific moment of your life? And then also how you're going to start planning for the future. And you're going to see, and this is the third row or the right row in the bus, how you can also leverage people that have been helping you over time. And these are loved ones or people that have been kind of mentors, and you can use them. In the book, Think and Grow Rich, there is also a kind of advisory board that is recommended for people so that you see people helping you in your mind. So again, there are many things that you can do in your mind. We all see the world and the finances and the everyday life in a very physical way, in a way that we can touch, that everything is a reality. But indeed, all this reality is related to your mind and how you see that, how you control it. So either you are in control of your financial life and also your work life, or you are reactive and you are depending on what others are telling you or doing for you. So this is a very important way to see the earning power that you have. And I want to reiterate, it's very important to dedicate time. The day has 1440 minutes, 24 hours. I'm just asking about the entire mindful framing practice for usually 15 minutes. And to finances might be sufficient that you dedicate 2 or 3 minutes. But do that every day. You're going to see an incredible transformation on the way you see all these financial troubles because you're actively looking into that. Now, in the Neo-Chi lifestyle, the N means nature. And let me connect that with what I was just talking about, the anxiety bus, the idea of having a few minutes dedicated every day to financial needs and requirements. And this is that the best place to free your mind, the best place to really be able to have your mind having this creativity flowering and going to the surface and helping you really move forward is when you just take a walk in a park, in nature, or even if someone is not able to that, think about a natural environment. And again, people say money doesn't grow in trees. I don't agree with that. I think that money does grow in trees. What that means, and by the way, I love to go into natural environments, especially the woods. When you do that, and would you really look into the different forms, the leaves, you think about how trees work, how they interact with nature, with the birds, with all types of animals, and so on. you start getting a lot of advice. You start getting the real advice about what's all about in our life and how, again, I mentioned that before, how trees grow slowly but steadily, and they work and cooperate with other trees around. They're connected. They have the mycorrhiza, it's called, and this is under the soil, and they're telling and communicating to each other. There's water here, and they have the leaves in a way so that all of them are able to get this photosynthesis that is absolutely critical for trees. So money grows in trees. Use nature as a way to liberate your mind and to think and to reflect about your earning power, your skills, and your capabilities. Let's now move into this next step, which is saving and spending. So you need first to understand what brings you, I would not say happiness or pleasure, the way you spend your money. And again, we're now on the second step because it's not just about earning money, it's about also how to spend it. And people confuse happiness with what I would call well being. I think that the key of, if you want to call it long term or real happiness, is when you really focus on your mental well being, not in small moments that you can have because you go to a restaurant or because you spend some time in a bar with friends. No, but when you start working on aspects that are really going to bring you value long term. And I know that's boring. We prefer to do things that are bringing us short term pleasure. But sometimes you can do both things at the same time. You can have short term pleasure, and at the same time, you can start thinking about things that are going to help you in the long term. And I think that's the key. So every penny saved is a penny earned. And I always think about that very thoroughly because when you earn money, when you get your paycheck, the government is going to take a portion of it in terms of taxes. But if you have money and you do not spend that, if you have $20 and you don't expect spend those $20 and you use that in a uh, mindful way, you are not charged by anyone. This money is absolutely free for you. There is no taxes in some way. So you're paying yourself with no taxes. So every $20 that you save is $20 tax free. Think about that for a moment. It sounds like an obvious thing, but people don't realize the importance of avoiding unnecessary spending, especially for things that you do because you think that they're going to bring you a quick rush of adrenaline or of dopamine, and you're going to feel exhilarated. But that's something that happens and disappears. And if you do that very often, that's what happens with gambling, for instance. You need more and more and more, and you're going to, again, waste a lot of money. So saving is absolutely critical here. And this is where you also need to be very thoughtful. So that's why I call this entire webinar Earn, Save, and Invest Mindfully, because you need to be very mindful. And another way of saving money is very simple. I can give you an example, something I've been doing all my life. And this is to look into all the bills that I get very thoroughly. I mean, you learn. I mean, I expect my T-Mobile bill to be a certain amount of dollars every month. If I see one single dollar above what I expect, I look carefully into that. And you may say, okay, why are you wasting your time with a few dollars? These few dollars, if you do that over time, and if you do that with all your bills, and you take a look into your credit card statements and so on, are going to mean thousands and thousands of dollars over time. So we need to think about the so-called compounded effect of all these activities. So saving is something that should be embedded into the way you do things. And in that way, you're going to see how, again, you're going to start having more and more money available. Now, another point that probably Susie Orman or other people are telling you all the time is that life is full of surprises. And we, many of us tend to, at some point, especially when you're starting your career or when you're very close in terms of your finances, you tend to get the money in and practically spend the money. And when you have, some people call it, yeah, it's kind of fire in your pockets because you have more money than you expected and you give it away. So very critical in terms of the word saving is to be able to save money for emergencies. And this is something that is absolutely critical. This is money that should be in cash, in a savings account or in your checking account. You have to think that anything can happen, and you don't want to be in a situation where you're really trapped and you have to increase your credit card debt. So that would be absolutely essential. Now, I like when I use the saving concept, I also like to think about something absolutely critical here, which is the fact that we live in society and we have our family, our friends, and also some professional or other type of friendships or collaborations. Start saving in what I call the emotional bank. Ensure that you're saving goodwill with a number of people that are essential. And they're going to help you and they're going to bail you out if you are in a very difficult situation. And they can do the same with you. So we're all in this together. Money is absolutely critical. You need to have definitely a number of dollars available to you to pay all your bills, and to, if possible, have time to money to enjoy doing things you like, at least some of them. But absolutely critical is to make these investments in some way in these emotional banks, ensuring that you have these connections at a very high level, and that they're going to help you when you need it. So you help them, they help you. And this is to me as important as saving actual money, because it's saving in terms of relationships. So that's why, let me recap a little bit what we have been talking about now and putting things together. So the Neo-Chi lifestyle is nature, emotions, and organism. And we started with nature, the way that you are looking into yourself, self-awareness, time to think about your critical skills, personality. The second one that we're talking about now is savings, and ensuring that you control your spending, but also ensuring that there is this emotional connection with a number of people that are almost as important as savings, because these are people that are going to help you and you're going to help them. So we're all together. I mean, in this society, everyone is becoming very much independent and working on their own. But if you see societies from years and years ago, and even right now in third world countries, they have real communities that they help each other. So you have people that are really poor, but they're going to help their neighbors if they are in need. And this is starting to become here almost very rare, because everyone is kind of, I keep what I have and I don't want to share that with anyone. What's going to, so for me, savings means also empathy, ensuring that you are also looking and helping others. And in case of need, you're going to help each other. This is kind of this community type of approach. Now let's look into the other aspect, which is the organism of Neo Chi lifestyle. Chi means energy, and the way that the title of my book is "Transform Your Anxiety into Vital Energy." So I think that all these things that happen to us in terms of financial anxiety, stress, or burnout can be transformed into vital energy, because this is energy at the end of the day. It's energy that is produced by problems, maybe, or situations that seem to have a kind of block and you cannot move forward. But this is energy that you need to rechannel and ensure that it goes in the right direction. Let's go now into the third topic, which is investments. And many of you are going to tell me, okay, to have investments, first I need to earn money and then to save money, obviously. But if you are lucky and you are able to have some money that goes beyond this emergency fund that I mentioned before and has to be in cash, you have to do two types of investments. Let's start with actual investments in with money. And I can tell you something I started to do several decades ago. And I was lucky because in my family, people were already doing that. And countries like the United States, there's a relatively high portion of the people that they do that. And this is investment in the stock market. People have still the idea that that's a kind of gambling type of approach, but it has been very clearly identified that if you put money continuously in the stock market, your money is going to grow. There's no doubt. Right now, if you put the money in your bank in a savings account, it's going to give you 0.1% or 0.5% per year. If you put your money regularly, and this is absolutely critical, in the stock market, and the recommendation is very simple. You just put that in the so-called S&P 500. There are several funds that do that. So you invest simultaneously in 500 companies, the top companies in the United States. The best place to do that, obviously, especially for those of us that live in the United States, is invest there. So if you have any money left and you want to save, and you have already your emergency fund, and you also want to see that money grow over time, because the stock market does this, is that in a regular basis, you start putting money in an S&P 500 fund. And it can be $50 a month. Doesn't matter. You're going to see that the average compound interest that you're going to get is between 5 and 10%. That's a difference with 0.5%. But obviously, this is something that you see over time. And if possible, you can put that in a retirement account. And you can either have an IRA or you can have for a 401k. That means that all this growth, the money, the way is growing, is not going to be taxed in a yearly basis. You are going to get the tax once you retire. But this is going to create a fund for you for retirement. So that's extraordinarily important. And that was the financial part of that. But I want to go a step further. I want to tell you now about investing in well-being, which I think is as important as investing in the S&P 500. And this is ensuring that, again, you don't think about happiness, but you think about well-being. So you start investing in your organism. You start putting some money on things that are absolutely critical for you, looking that you have the right nutrition, that you do some exercise, which can be as simple as taking a walk in nature. That's the way I do that. That's my 100% daily exercise, and then I do some calisthenics and other stuff. But this is something I never miss. And then also ensuring that you have also a good sleep, and that you go to bed without alcohol in your body and without too much food in your body. So if you do that, you're going to have also a very relaxing and rejuvenating sleep. So all these things are absolutely important. So you are investing in your well-being. You are investing in your organism. Let me go back again to the way I am connecting as a kind of summary. I see is we got about 5 minutes left. We have to think about making money, which is ensuring that we think about that we reflect, that we look into how are we doing that right now, and how, like everyone, we can go up in the ladder. And obviously, it's about yourself, something that you enjoy doing, but sometimes it's not so easy. And also that you are contributing to the society. And there are many ways you can do that once you understand yourself and see what you are bringing to the table. So earning money and connecting to yourself through nature. So that's why I do that with the nature exam, because this is the way you're going to free your mind and you're going to see how money grows in trees. Second one is saving and controlling spending and ensuring that you also have savings in the emotional bank, that you also connect with others. And the third one that we're talking about, and I'm going to summarize, is ensuring that you also invest your money and your energy, and also the way you use your time into your organism, something that is going to help you save a lot of money over time, because if you have a healthy body, you're going to be able to work more efficiently. You're going to spend less money on prescription medicines, potentially having requiring all types of help that anyone needs. So altogether, we're talking about two concepts. That is what I've been working on over the past 5 years, and I want to share that with everyone because it has worked marvelously with me. And I'm sure that it can work with others too. And this is ensuring that you have a practice that you can do daily. It's not meditation. It's not something that comes from Buddhist stuff that was created 3,000 years ago. It's something that is for the day today in the 21st century, something that is able to fulfill the needs of our brains, our minds, that need to think, that need to project, that need to also recycle memories and situations that we have. And this is mindful framing. So take a look into that book. Take a look into a lot of blogs, educational material that I'm providing in our website, neochi.org, neochi.org. And there, practically, you're going to see all the information needed. And then looking into the neo-chi lifestyle connected with that, because both things work together. One is the practice, the other one is the overall, let's call it, lifestyle guidance. And in this lifestyle, what we're telling everyone is, let's ensure that you focus in just a few things that are going to take you to the other level. So you're going to organize your life around nature, meaning self-awareness, spending time in a very relaxed environment, and your mind is going to start thinking and bringing you ideas and values. And then ensuring also that you connect with others, that you have this empathy. And this is absolutely essential too, because the moment that you do that, you're going beyond the standards that we're hearing about meditation and all that stuff, and especially in our life, all these recommendations that we have sometimes around lifestyle, which is focus on yourself. What I'm telling you is that you also have to focus on others, focus on how you have this level of empathy and you understand what other people think about. We as men have a lot of more difficulty as women, which naturally, because of the relation with their child, are more able to empathize with others. So that's one. And the last one, again, is investing in yourself, investing in your mind and your body. Thank you so much for your time.